Hello and welcome to this English online series. My name is Nishma and together we're going to look at the English you'll use in the workplace, in your social life, and just the English you need for life in general. Let's go. Today, we're talking about how you can ace your business presentation. Now, this is something that is difficult to do in your mother tongue, let alone in a second language. But we've got some really good tips for you in our new blog post, and I want to go through some of them in today's podcast. Okay, so let's dive straight in. The first thing you need to do is make sure you have a clear structure. When people learn to teach in the UK, they are often told to structure their lessons in this simple way. So number one, say what you're going to say. Number two, say it. And number three, say what you've said. And I think this is a brilliant way to remember how to structure any kind of public speaking. In other words, introduce the session by explaining what you intend to talk about. And this sets the audience's expectations. It means that they know what's going to happen. Number two, you then use the main part of the session to make your presentation. And then number three, finally, you finish by summarizing the most important points of your presentation. So this helps your audience to remember them clearly. So again, remember this formula. Number one, say what you're going to say. Number two, say it. And number three, say what you've said. And just another tip on this point, if you plan to let the audience ask questions, it's always a good idea to tell them that you'd prefer to answer their questions at the end of the presentation. This will discourage people from interrupting your presentation at the wrong moment. Okay, another tip that the blog talks about is to use storytelling. This is a technique that is often talked about in the design thinking world, and it was famously used by Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, in his commencement speech at Stanford in 2005. And just simply, people love stories. If you can capture your audience's imagination with a story, you can make a very powerful impression. So let's look at the example used in the blog. Imagine you're giving a presentation about how to commission new adverts for your company. You want to make the point that good copywriting, good writing is just as important as a good design. So one way to make this point would be to say, successful adverts rely on good writing, as well as good design. If you change the wording of an advert, it can often result in extra sales or fewer. Therefore, the words we choose are as important as the image we use. So it's not bad, it's quite a good start to a presentation, but you could begin with a story like this. I want you to imagine it's the year 1907. A man called Louis Victor Eitinge is in prison, convicted of murder. He's a drug addict, suffering from tuberculosis. He's unlikely to live, never mind get out of jail. And yet, by 1923, he walked free into a well-paid advertising job and a career as a Hollywood screenwriter. How? How did he do it? Well, he wrote his way to freedom. And I want to use his story to show you why, if we want successful adverts, we need to have powerful writing as well as good design. Now, be honest, which version of the presentation would you rather listen to? Remember, have a clear structure and use the storytelling technique in your presentation. Those are two really good ways to ace your business presentations. Now, go ahead and read our blog post for more advice on how to deliver a great business presentation, and I'll see you in our next episode.